Alright, so today we're going to talk about the noob trap. So there's this legendary button, and a lot of Rachel players will look at her dust loop and be like, man, this character is minus on like literally all of her buttons. What is the deal with this? Oh wait, I see. This button is plus. It must be a pressure tool. No. So 6C is Rachel's only plus on block normal. It is +1. And a lot of people see that and think, oh, I need to use it in my pressure. Here's the problem with it. So 6C is a very unique button because it is active until Rachel touches the ground, so you can do funky things like this. It has very niche use, but it is not very good for a couple of reasons. So for one, Rachel's wind regeneration, right? Whenever she's in the air, she regenerates wind significantly slower than she does when she's on the ground. She used to not regenerate it at all, but now she does. But anyways, 6C puts her airborne. So watch my wind regeneration. The instant I hit 6C, I lose my wind regeneration. That's really big. On top of that, you can, if you're spending wind to remain plus in your pressure, you can easily. So Rachel's pressure is based on jump canceling. So you have the instant overhead. So like, why are you spending wind on a mid, which is 6C, when you can be spending wind on an instant overhead, or going for the low? You get that mix, right? So you might say, oh well, what if you don't use wind? If you don't use wind, you're punishable, because look, it pushes the opponent way too far away, and at ranges where people like want to Gatling into this, like it'll completely whiff. So you have to use wind in these situations if you want it to do anything. That's not to say 6C is completely useless. It has use in combo fodders. You can do 6C1 JC, J236C is one of Rachel's like bread and butter corner combos. J6C3 and then JC into other stuff is a more niche, difficult to use combo that you can use for different starters. And yeah, it's not good. Don't be this Rachel. If you are going to use this though, pro tip, you do this into JC and you're plus like 1 billion instead of +1. Don't do that though. Don't do that. If you're gonna spend wind, spend it on the instant overhead. And if you're gonna use 6C, use it as a combo filler. And that's about it for 6C. Thanks. Oh, and one more thing. So someone pointed out to me on Rachel Cord that, oh well, TK Sword Iris, right? You're plus like 1 bajillion when you do this, right? Well, what if I have one of these rods up and I do 6C into this? So the answer is simply, if you want to turn off the video now, no, not very good, for a couple of reasons. So for one, this is way easier, but Rachel is airborne whenever she uses 6C, as we talked about earlier. So that means that she loses that one win. Now she goes airborne for TK IRS, but she lands significantly faster. Doing this it's plus. It's not quite as plus as like this, or I'm sorry, as this. Additionally, ranges at which it works. So, I'm at this range, and I do I'll do like 6B Iris. I can do that. I can do 6B TK Iris, right? And then I can run back in and do stuff. Now, if I do the same thing, 6B 6C, I need to spend wind. That's very important, because the whole point of TK Iris is to extend your pressure further without spending wind. And remember, 6C puts you airborne, so you regenerate wind slower. Now, people will be like, oh, this is literally like, you're talking literal like half second of wind regeneration, if that, like less than that. Why is this such a big deal? Rachel is all about micromanaging her wind and her movement and not getting into pressure. Yeah, if Rachel's called out either without wind, or if she's forced to block in the corner, things like that, she goes from being like top tier to being like bottom 5. because she's one of the few characters that has 0 reversal. And she's so floaty. If she's in the air without wind, she's a sitting duck. Like she's so predictable. And you can throw tiny Lobelias. These have landing recovery though. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. You know, if you do this, if you do, and you can't, you know, special cancel on whiff, so you'd be forced to do something like this. It's also kind of hard to see, but Rachel at that range, the other Rachel will recover. In time. I'm so not used to doing this input, I'm just doing Sword Iris automatically. There's a gap between 6B and 6C there. So the other Rachel can smack you out of it. If it's a character that has a DP, they can easily DP you out of it. Characters with DPs, if you're fighting them, gosh, they're like fuzzy mashing DP like their life depends on it, because oftentimes it does. So that's just an invitation to do that. Now, you could be like kind of cheeky stupid and just do this and wait, but if you're gonna do that and you think they're gonna DP, this punishes DPs and you get a counter hit Sword Iris starter, which is one of Rachel's best starters. End of the long answer, use TK Iris instead. It's hard for newer players, but it is so freaking worth it. Even you can see, even I'm messing up with it, but it is so freaking worth it. Like, it's not even funny.